Namaste Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namaste Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namaste Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Unaca parang bhikkhave bhikkhu dhamme sudhammanupassī vihārati yasu achattika bāhiresu āyatanesu. Accordingly, we are going to start the seventh talk, and so far we have delivered the Dhamma talk series, and for the whole series we have taken the famous highly respected discourse on the Sathipattana Sutta. It is basically dealing with four foundations of mindfulness, Sathipattana, and so far we have covered the first part, the second part, and the third. Now we are dealing with the fourth part, namely mental aspects, the mind associated factors. Whatever may be, we have not dealt with the first aspect, the body of the body, and the second, the feelings on the feeling, and the third, the consciousness of consciousness. Whatever is there, will be dealt with fourth one, in the mental aspects. So yesterday we touched the first segment of this fourth aspect, that is to say, five obsession, Nissarana, five obsessions, and five aggregates. According to the time permits, we will today try to go forward rather than yesterday. Accordingly, today we are going to take up six faculties, teacher and extent. So this is the sense and expansion and furthering of the yesterday's one, that is to say, five aggregates. Five aggregates are, according to the advanced vocabulary, named as materiality, feelings, perceptions, mental formation, and the consciousness. So this is one way of analyzing a being, entity, a living being, or still if we want to reduce it, being as the materiality of nature. That is what materiality is. As materiality of corporeality of the body, and the mentality is cut in four pieces: feeling, perceptions, mental formation, and consciousness. Exactly the same thing. You can look in terms of faculty, the eye faculty, the ear faculty, the nose as the faculty, the tongue, the body, and the mind. So that is also another way of analyzing being. So with the already developed mindfulness and consciousness, concentration, the presents many aspects, many viewpoints according to their own tastes, according to their own personality traits. So that does not indicate everyone has to go through this and everyone thoroughly. These are the different viewpoints one can have. When we come to this Sathipattana Bhāya, in these six faculties, internal and external, it is the most detailed way, and we can give the proper way. And to go little in detail, according to the original wordings of the Buddha, it says that the Vikavedi who Chakuncha Pajanati, Rupecha Pajanati, Yanta Advayam Padityopaditi Santojanatata. as far as the faculty of eye is concerned, visual sensation, but it is whenever the mindfulness is up to the step as maturity, when the concentration comes to the continuous one, so we have the absorption level, a very versatile level, then he can understand to seeing happenings. That should have a living eye and a visual object which cut along with avenue to come into the range. And when that happens, the consciousness must take the priority in seeing. So otherwise the consciousness must become the seeing consciousness. Then only and the critical person become the seer, observer. And when that is happening, there is a kind of a phenomena if you are not going to lose or get lost in the thing you observe. Even if you are keen enough to see the mechanism of seeing, you have to be. You have to say, there should have a living eye or eye touch and visual object and the particular activity. Your consciousness must be taken wholeheartedly about seeing, when the consciousness is seeing consciousness, is only and only then seeing that indicates the state enough. At that time your ear is not working whatever the outcome has tried to you will not digest. Whatever the smell comes try to touch your nose will never be going to memory, will never be taken into granted, and you become paralyzed by it. Specifically towards the nose and the tongue and the body and mind. So this indicates one thing at a time. And when that happens, all other five faculties has to give way for that eye to take the dominance. It dominates all other five faculties. So therefore, even though, as might be claimed, we have six senses, yes, there are six faculties, but each time only one working, others has to undergo the dominance of that particular working pattern. So when you are to observe that, you can understand how fertile is our state of consciousness. And when we are observing, we become seer, we don't know by taking the chance of seeing, we are sacrificing time. That's the only possible way for us to track the ignorance and lack of attention won't allow us to accept or experience this kind of shifting of our attention. And therefore, all the time, we feel, we are seeing, we are hearing, and we are smelling, we are tasting, touching, and thinking. This is mere magic, mere show. So that is why the Buddha says, as far as seeing happens, your eye must be completely covered with the pure object, and the consciousness must be priority, dominating this brain, and the other faculties has to go. So in that sense, within the day, we are most amused, we are most wondered through the eye faculty. In other words, we can say, most of our developments come into that. In the same, commonly said, in the ethical way, we love our eye in respect to all other six senses. Therefore, whatever the most lovable thing is, we love it like our eye. And therefore, whenever we are used to see the eyesight, we are the most excited. Because then our life is only half, it's not full. So therefore we try our best to keep the eye open, that's to get the maximum amount of the time. That is what we do. In the meditation, therefore, the Buddha says, please close your eyes. So that the most tricky point, most subtle and most swift faculty to purposely close. Because the undeveloped mindfulness and the concentration, person with undeveloped mindfulness and concentration have no hope regarding understanding the object. That is why the Buddha waiting to explain this kind of thing at the end of this particular discourse, and thereby he can take himself from the mindfulness, the way of the particular person who is practicing. Then only he can take the very mindfulness he has developed upon his body, relax, and do it in the diversified way, apply to the eye, to apply to the ear, to the nose, to the tongue, to the body. So, if someone wish to test, is to shift, is to try it, and he can't do it by the sitting meditation, he will get a good chance in the walking. You have to do in a little more detail, while if you are doing walking meditation as standard kind of a walking path, while you are in the middle of the walking path, you can easily maintain, or it's easier mindfulness, the steps, the right, the left, to the right. And when you go to the end and while turning, most of the time our attention uses for the footsteps from the soul, and easily it is dragging into the seeing field, observing. And when and where the observation happens, who is walking and close by, what are the kind of birds are there, what are the kind of trees are there, and kind of thing, soon you are losing the attention towards your soul, attention towards your bodily contact, and you all of a sudden become a seer. And they are also allowed to go a little further. Soon your attention taken from the touching sensation of the ground to the eye. The very first thing you have to need, you have to know that an object coming closer to you or object going away from you. Ultimately, that very first sight will not allow you to discriminately see whether it's a male or female or yellow or blue or green. It's just a different image. And if you are willfully decide to go into that only that, you will sacrifice your meditation or mindfulness of the steps and to go into the very thing you have seen, and it is invariably going to the second time due to your purposeful, willful action. Willful adverting of your mind. So therefore there is enough chance in the second time when you are I would say thought moment, when you are trying to, focusing the attention to the visual object, what you see is what you wish to see. What you want to see rather than the thing itself. Your second time, your choice, your attention. Even though you are supposed to be a walking meditation, attention back to the soul, now you are wandering for the first instance to the visual object, and then consciously or unconsciously, within the ongoing to see the same object, you have to give your attention, and together with your perception and taking the upper hand, when you go detail and see, then the second time when it appears like a male or a female coming closer, going away, shape, this color, and all the kind of things, that they are what you see is what you wish to see. Therefore, easily you can say what you see that you are. So this much of detail very, very difficult unless otherwise you have a complete soullessness in your calculation, your acceptance, and you are so sharp and the thin slicing of your experience to see how the first the changing of the consciousness from the touching to the visual thing happens, and when it happens, your appreciation happens second time to just again go to the same thing, and when that happens, through this your will, the perception will come behind, and then what you see that you are. But you claim you see things as they are. But you don't know you are supposed to walk, but what is happening is you are no more a walker, you are a seer. And complete it happens according to your past likings and dislikings and your karmic forces and everything that can happen. So how to be mindful of that? For that simply you have to be very patient. When and where, especially when the retreat like this, and in the walking meditation and day to day, when and where seeing happens, at least you have to note it to indicate your mind you are not listening, you are not smelling, you are not tasting, you are not touching, you are not thinking, but you are seeing. Once you train up to that level only, the seeing process would be analyzed how the very first impeachment happens, and the second time you will to see instead of hearing, instead of smelling, instead of tasting. In the case we are acting instead of touching, instead of thinking, happens. And when it happens, you are going with a prepared mind to see what you wish to see. So when that happens, well, you will understand the process what is happening, even though you claim that you see and you see the things as they are, but you are completely taken away from the walking meditation to the seeing, and it is happening due to your activity. So there is enough chances for, as I mentioned earlier, your perception to come into being. And the hearing also the same. So therefore, the person who is seeing, hearing, smelling, touching, that kind of thing, doing without the mindfulness is completely happening through the glass of the perception. If it is wrong perception, you can see the very thing in the wrong manner. And specifically if you are doubtful, when the doubt arises, and what you see is what you wish to see. And in the family life, family affairs, if you have any doubt about one of your members, and if you are entertaining it again and again, everything what he or she is doing, you seems to grasp in the wrong manner. And first thing is you are deeply believe. And then whatever the other person going to say, this is what happened, I saw it different way, you never believe it. So therefore, in the case of the Buddha, he never going to try and argue and going to show them the rationally and in the deductive way, because unless otherwise he or she see this trick of mechanism through the mindfulness, never believe. So therefore, if you are to see something, and if you need a confirmation, you have to touch and see, get the touch. And seeing and touching will give a kind of a suggestion and the second. And once you touch it in the darkness, you have to put a torch that see it to get yet another kind of second thing. That is how it happens. Otherwise you can see in the dream world, you see everything. But when you get up, you know completely this mind thinking. And when you are awakened, you see it is different to you, but almost it is the same thing happens. That is why the Buddha says, please get up from this sleep. Please be mindful. Please be intelligent. Please be vigilant. And don't believe what the mind is going to show you. There are a lot of tricks. The physics lessons, they explain how the eye is camouflaged you, and it is physically you can prove. And when you are mindful, that is what it happens. So, the best and the most superior form of restraining of faculty means not just not seeing the things, not just only seeing only the auspicious thing. That is not the restrainment of the faculty. It is only understanding the mechanism of seeing. In our physics classes, our master asked us, when we go to at that time there are no videos and there are no computers, only we have the cinema. And when you go to the cinema, we can see how the actors and the lovers and the tragedies and comedies going to be, and you observe from the beginning to the end. But if you are observing the screen, if you see just above your head, among the smoke of the cigarettes and others, you can see the beam coming in the conical shape from the projector, and when it comes and touch on the screen, only that beam of light becomes human or animated. Otherwise, you can see movements in the smoke as a cone. And definitely you know that is one strike on the goal, and then only they become animated. Otherwise, in the smoke you can't see. And when you go backward, you can see even the screen is 36 millimeters or 2 millimeters. The projector mouth is about 1 inch square, very bright light. From that only the projection happens. And if you go a little behind this light, you have the cellotape or the tape film, and that makes the pure light into that kind of figures. And still if you go behind that, behind the film, the light is completely pure. It's throughout come. But still if you go behind that, if the light beam is continuous, there won't be any animation. There should have 50% darkness and 50% light. Then only one shot to the other shot, little changes happen. The mind can read movements and the animation. Otherwise it will be not a movie, it's a silent photo. So the projector is cutting the thing 50-50%, and then still behind that you see completely white spark. So the master asked us, instead of looking at the film, he showed us the projector how it works, and when you go to the film and see how the mechanism happens, but he alarmed us, if you are going to see the mechanism, you will not see whether film is tragedy or a comedy. You lose the film, you only see the mechanism. But the uninstructed people are fully absorbed with the tragedy and comedy. They never observe the mechanism. Exactly the same thing in the reverse way happening in life. So if you are to observe this very seeing process, when the seeing happens, your other faculties are not working, or you can't do a walking meditation, you become just seer, or you can be a hearer, and for that also two things has to come and touch each other, and then the mind has to take the full priority over there, then only you can become a seer, and that is how it happens. One day will be more than enough objects for you to meditate upon. Only difference is, if you are uninstructed, your attention is outwardly, that you will end up with this visual object. or the sounds. Whenever you become meditated, your attention will be in. You will see how swiftly attention change from the eye to the ear, ear to the nose, nose to the tongue. No any agenda. That itself is really indicate we have no backward. We have no theme in our life. Even though we are planning early morning that I will do this and that, if you really observe, there is no agenda. Mind is not under anyone's command. It's swiftly going from one to the other. The Buddha says just like a mad monkey. The mad monkey jumping from the one branches to the other branch without calculation. Just observe and jump. Exactly, our mind has no moral responsibility. Our mind does have no care for this concentration. It is so swift. Only the mindfulness can go into it and spy. So that is what the best yogi doing is, let the eye, the ear, the nose take the upper hand and dominate others, and you try to not to let your mind to go to the visual object or sound or the smell or the tasting food or something like this. Then you stop your attention as much as possible at the eye consciousness or eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, the nose sensitivity, and the tongue. Or the whole six senses. So that is the one of the most gist of the teaching of the Buddha. It is, whatever may be, the seeing stops at your eye sensitivity, the hearing stops at your ear sensitivity, and likewise, so if you are really keen in controlling and restraining you, stop seeing just at the eye sensitivity. Don't let the mind to jump out and be amused with the visual object. Because that is what we did so far in our samsara as well as in this life. So much what happens was we lost our control. We completely opened the defilement to come into the stream of consciousness. Therefore, if you wish to see at least once, stop and see. It is Dhammajiva. That means in seeing, it is just mere seeing. Don't try to proliferate. Don't try to dream about that. Don't try to rationalize it. Don't try to be deductive and rationalize it. Just if possible, stop at that level. So, to understand at least this instruction, you must have so much of advanced mindfulness and the concentration. Otherwise, you will ask, then what is the purpose of having this eye if I have to go to stop at the eye sensitivity, and due to the good deeds we have performed in the last life, isn't it due to that good deeds we got the good eyes? And if we are going to stop at that eye level, isn't it that depriving of our faculty of seeing things in three-dimensional way and all the time? Yes, it is happening. But as far as it is going away, going outwardly, there is no control, there is no assurance that it will go to only the good side, there is no bad side. So therefore, if you are responsible, if you are having loving kindness to yourself, if you are thinking about the well-being towards yourself, you must at least understand you have the capacity to training to stop at that level. Otherwise, what happens is, naturally, if you are to see a good thing, desire arises. If you are to see a bad thing, the hatred arises. You will never see neutral thing twice. Whenever the neutral thing happens, you forget about that. You are observing something titillating you, something giving kind of a kick. That's only through desire and the hatred. So therefore you see again and again only the thing which is titillating toward the hatred or the desire. Other things, if you look, they never go to the memory. Just like in the last talks we come to know, when and where the pleasure and pain comes, mind is well concerned and engaged. When and where no pain, no pleasure happen, we don't know. We never appreciate it. And when the pain and pleasure come, we complain. Exactly here. When something desirable happens, you not only with the open eye, you are looking with the open mouth. That you do not know that your mouth is open. There's so much a desire. And when something is hateful, still there's a kind of brutal wish to see it. And when something is neutral, you will be blessed. It is nothing to see. So that is what the Buddha says. If you are observing this kind of, you are asking for trouble. You are asking for something to titillate you. That titillation comes to killing us. And that is why in the sitting meditation you are supposed to close at least for that time, so that mind will not get dispersed on the eye faculty. The ear, you can't close it, so you have to go to a silent place. And the smell, the tongue, you have to keep them neutral. Only then you can draw the attention to your body. Because the eye is the most shifted, more tricky, and most subtle organ. And most of our time is we are engaged in seeing. And next only the ear gets the tongue. And next the tongue, nose, next the tongue. And when there is no any such visual object and sounds and smells and taste, only the mind comes back and rest of the body. So Buddha says the untrained mind, uninstructed mind, unmindful mind, you find very difficult to be mindful while you are eating. Nothing to talk about when you are talking. And very difficult to be mindful while you are smelling, hearing, and seeing. And therefore you have to thoroughly master when and where the inward and outward happen. And further when you go there, even the inward and outward become calm and quiet. Whenever you feel the hardness, stiffness, tension, moving nature, and any pain in the body happen, master it as much as possible, then you can understand how difficult for you to keep the attention continuously with the body consciousness. Because always it is brilliant to go outwardly through the sensitivity of the tongue, sensitivity of the nose, sensitivity of the ear and the eye. So once you develop the full mastery of it, you can apply this while you are walking. At the end, when you are turning, how difficult to maintain the mindfulness, what you gain in the walking in the middle and come back to the middle without disturbance. There's so much of visual objects come and disturb, sounds come and disturb, all the other can happen. And in the day-to-day activity of full vigilance. So what is the task is, if not possible to control the eye sensitivity and the ear sensitivity and the nose and the tongue and the body and the mind level, at least you must note how swiftly it is jumping from to the other. Simply you can see there is no agenda. You can fix an agenda, it is no any agenda, it's a completely lack by chance. So then you can understand how vulnerable we are. Can we claim this as a soul? Can we claim we are the executive, we have executive powers? Can we say I am the householder of this house? Can we say I can organize my life? Leave aside organizing your children's life. Leave aside your organizing of your disciples' life. The day you understand, you see how vulnerable we are. So when we are talking about the death moment, no way. When you are living, when you are full awake, when you are at your right nature with you, even then it is difficult. But possible. That's why when Bahya, one of the very person with so much of urgency, came to the Buddha And while he is on the arms rounds, he says, but please teach me Dhamma. There was a mention that while with the arms rounds, we are customarily we are not talking. Then the person came and again and he told one day once you rejected, that anyway I feel so urgent, would you mind to preach Dhamma in East? Spirit. Because I told you once, in the arms rounds, we are not going to do that. And again he says, Nandi, I am very consciously, I know 2 times you rejected, but I feel I don't have a long life. So therefore, would you mind to teach me? Then the Buddha told, if it is so, carefully listen. In seeing, only just see. In hearing, only just hearing. In other tactile sensation, only the tactile sensation. Only thinking in thinking. Therefore, you must restrain by it in such a way. When I am seeing, let me stop that at that level, at the eye consciousness. Or seeing level, don't go on referring that I have seen a good thing, I have seen a bad thing, I have it's a good omen, it's a bad omen, I must take a photograph, I must enlarge it, and I go to the wall. All those things are completely taking you for a ride. Hearing the same, all the same, and he immediately grasped the idea. So therefore, it is the Buddha given him the convocation or the giving him the act because the person understood all teaching just by doing, in seeing, just try to stop and see. It's a very famous among the scholars that they have read it, philosophized it 1,000 times, but even nothing happens. In the body only once it is preached, you practice, and you got to. That indicates it's a very difficult profound teaching. That is why in the Sathipattana Sutta, the Buddha says, once you come to know this, how the corporeality, sensation, perception, mental formation, and the consciousness understood little, you have to expand your mindfulness from the bodily mindfulness to the other faculties. So, in explaining how the dominancy of the faculty overpower the others, one person came out with a simile just to indicate it is not enlightening, but I think sometimes helpful to understand it in the example. He says if there is a minister under the particular ministry, there are 6 departments, and therefore he has 6 young, handsome secretaries, permanent secretaries, 6. But the minister's private secretary is a very beautiful young girl. So everyone has to come and report and keep their files with that young typist, and she decode everything and report with it. So each and every secretary, permanent secretary, has to take the attention of this typist if he wishes to take his own file and to decode what is to have, otherwise he can't understand how it is decoding and decoding. So therefore all the 6 are at the table, try to get the attention of the cat typist, and she decide which one is priority. If she is dealing with one secretary, all the other 5 has to wait and see. And next one is trying to get the attention again, and when that one is successful, all the other 5 has to wait and see. This is how our consciousness is pulled towards 6 senses, 6 faculties, and the consciousness also have no control where to go, and you have no agenda, and there is no law, there is no such thing unless it's luck by chance. So with that such a vulnerability only we claim, this is my soul, this is myself, this is myself, this is mine. So if you really go into the deep, you see how unaffected. So that it is making you little fragile. So therefore many do not wish to take this example, wish to take this exercise and do it. Of course it is not possible with philosophy, not possible with theory knowledge. You must have a complete understanding of it, at least on the bodily contact sensations, how swiftly these changes are taking place. Unless otherwise mind will become very versatile, mind will take the upper hand, you will never believe what is happening. So only one thing is working, only other you have to sacrifice. In the sense that our consciousness cannot cater for all the six impediments: visual and the sounds, smell, taste, touch, and the thought. So all five are active, but consciousness has to select one thing at a time. So the mental formation, the sankhara, is the person select one for the consciousness. It is happening through the ignorance. Ignorance is that sankhara, the mental formation, always select extremes, either desirable thing or hateful, painful thing or pleasurable thing. Sankhara by itself never select no pain, no pleasure situation. Even if it happens, it considered a mistake, and never go for neutral thing. Therefore, it is always pulling you into the extremes. And according to Avijjapajja Sankhara is the one giving way to the consciousness. So therefore, philosophers, they say, by selecting one, you don't know you are closing five. So who the assurance, what is the assurance that what selected by you is always the truth? But to reject that five, it is not the truth. Maybe other way. So therefore, in that, wherever you are going to take a chance or choice, like that, you are covering so much of things. So mindfulness is the only mental factor asking you to keep the whole range open. It is called choiceless awareness. It is called evenly suspended attention. It is called suspended decision. Because even though you see by your very eye, you can be a tricky. Even if you hear by your ears, if you are really meditated, you will see it is my wish, it is what the sankhara painted, that is what happened. That is what taken by the consciousness. So accordingly only you see the consciousness going to separate it into the mentality and physicality, and then the faculties are going to work. So this is the most hardest, most trickiest point in the cause and effect relationship. So how the ignorance is just like in the field all the darkness. Without the darkness you can't see fields. And ignorance is that, and the sankhara is the one draw the attention at particular time to one or the other. Accordingly only the consciousness arises, and then only you claim you are talking with direct experience, under the nose experience, but the Buddha only knows that true, according to your rational knowledge, it is true, but to see the reality you have to understand, not the visual object, is the seeing mechanism. So it has to be a gradual training on the kaya pasana, training on the contemplation of the body, and then only you can go for the feelings, and then perception, and then the mental formation and the consciousness, like it has to go. While it is happening, your meditation also must be versatile. Not only sitting meditation, in the walking meditation you are doing with open eyes and exposed to the bird sounds and the visual things. Don't think this as a burden or an unwanted challenge. That is how the mindfulness you gain through sitting meditation, you are going to put into different situations, but still limited activity. But in the day-to-day activity, you are using that very particular thing in all the possible senses. For the beginner, it's a very heavy challenge. Very difficult to maintain the mindfulness in day-to-day activity. Because they wish to go very detailed and deep into that. On the day-to-day activities, what we have to see, how swiftly they are changing from, we are shifting from seer to the hearer, or smelling present, or tasting present, touching present, and thinking present. When that happens only, you see the fragile nature of the whole day's experience. And if you, before going to the sleep, if you reflect back and see how was the day, what was the plan of the morning, and at the end you see what has happened is completely two different worlds. And if you are going to see more and more, you see there is no such a governing nature, no governability, but only you can do is you can observe and see it's a fragile nature, it's an emptiness, and it's if you look at only as if someone outside, then only it will be just a teledrama. You need not to go to the film halls anymore. By looking at your one day's business as an outsider, you can see all the kind of jokes in the world, all the kind of desires in the mind, all the kind of hatred, all the kind of ignorance in it. So usually you see them understand with respect to the other, with respect to the past and the future. The moment you come to understand, you will see this is the funny way of putting your humanness, being a human, put into work. And all the amusement and the desire, the hobbies and picnics and all the kind of thing is to draw your attention from here and put it introvert, and you are completely losing to the present. So therefore, one has to take care about this mindfulness in the sitting meditation from the bodily functions to the hearing, seeing, and continue like that. More and more you observe, you will understand. As you advance, you will never find fault with another person. You will understand how difficult it is maintaining the balance. You must give the maximum support to him. Just please maintain as you go on. We can't take the responsibility about others. And not only that, you will not find fault with others, you will never claim it. You will never complain. All this happens because you don't know your background. You don't know your fragile nature. Then only you claim, I must have this and he must be doing me like this. Or you may complain others, they are not mindful, they are not spiritual, they are not virtuous, and all the kind of things. But even if you wish to be spiritual, virtuous, you might have no any kind of regard for that. Even if you claim, who is going to give it? Who is going to answer it? So ultimately you become humble, observer, and that is the way you release the tension. That is the way you release your frustration. As far as you have any kind of claiming for your rights, or if you have any complaint about the others, so much so, you are creating turmoil not only for you, but for others. So therefore, be mindful and further mind your own business. That is the meditation. You have to come to the present moment, come to yourself, and that very moment, no problem. And that very moment, no tension. That very moment, no frustration. That our mind consciousness never happy to be here and now. With all the effort only we can keep it, immediately try to jump it up. The Buddha says, if you keep the needle upright and pour any amount of mustard seed or grains of sand, nothing will remain on the apex or tip of the needle. Once it's fallen, you can cover it with sand. upright mind is the mindful mind. Whatever the defilement, whatever the karmic forces, whatever the climatic difficulties, whatever the problem related to your relatives and the neighbors, nothing will spoil the mindful moment. And not only that, it ultimately leads to this understanding of the eye faculty, the ear faculty, and everything. And equally, what happens is, to the extent that you understand your faculties, you will understand everyone in the same boat. In that respect, there's no discrimination. So therefore, only you can do is sympathize others. Because they are not taking time to understand their own business. They are very busy with others and they think it is compassion. I would say it is vested interest. And the Bertrand Russell being one of the philosophers, he was vested interest the worst poison in the human being. You take interest of the others and you amuse yourself and forking fingers to others and everything gets better. Into the Buddha says, take your attention if possible to the present moment. And here and now, and the present moment is the only present moment. It was really difficult to see this balance, so much so, your needle is not upright, so accumulation all the difficulty. So with this kind of understanding, I will take few minutes to go into this next subject of 7 factors of enlightenment. Of course, it's a very vast subject that just to cover because we have to conclude this series. In the after finishing again, the Buddha asked, "Unatiparam bhikkhave bhikkhu dhammesu dhammanupassi vedati sattasu bojjhanti." For monks, again, and yet another way, the monk will be concerned or dwell upon contemplation on the mental aspect called factors of enlightenment. And namely, the mindfulness as a factor of enlightenment. And he says, when someone comes up with this mindfulness develop up to the factor of enlightenment level, he has a fair amount of mastery of the mindfulness, and so he comes to know Satthama Ajjhattan Sadhidhamojjhanga Sathipattana Sadhidhamojjhanga. Whenever he mindfully, whenever his needle is upright, he knows now my mind is with the mindfulness as a factor of mind, factor of enlightenment. So that means he discreetly knows now I am mindful. And that is not a beautiful thing. The second part will say, Buddha says, Asantangvadam Ajjhattan Sadhidhamojjhanga Natti me Sadhidhamojjhanga Roti Payana. Whenever he is not mindful, he verily knows I am not mindful. That is the most important and beautiful thing in the meditative life. But no one understands this as an advancement. Whenever someone comes to know that I am unmindful or not mindful, always end up with the regret. But Buddha says, understanding mindfulness as mindfulness is good, but understanding unmindful as unmindful is better. This is the only change in the life as you go forward. Wherever you find faults, wherever you find flaws, wherever you find some mistakes in you, often you think it is you are morally bound to get regret. You must, if you are morally, you must definitely discourage yourself and always more. But the Buddha completely put it other way. Due to the mindfulness only, due to your early effort of mindfulness only, now you come to know, I am not mindful. That is and that is called power of mindfulness. This book, The Power of Mindfulness, I would say, this is the one that changed me in my life, and that is made me a bhikkhu or a monk, because it was so nicely presented. I have been through a number of times, but I'm sorry to say that when the Jnana Bodhi is very originally he has written it, but there's a very nice quotation you have put into that, it would have sharpened the idea very nicely. That is called Parisambhita Magga, the book of discrimination. Says Venerable Sariputta, the mindfulness is to be here and now. That is the normal way we understand. And what is the power of mindfulness? He defined the power of mindfulness as Mamadena Kappateti Sathipattana. Mamada means negligence. Mamada means unmindful. And whenever someone comes to know thou, now or just before, and with the time to come, I am unmindful, if he is unshaken, that is the power of mindfulness. If he is shaken and discouraged, that is not the way to appreciate your progress. So therefore, when the mindfulness as a fact of enlightenment come up to the maturity, you are well and good and happy when mindful, and you are better and much happy to know that you are mindful. You see how the life is so happy there. When you are mindful, you are happy. When you are unmindful, you are happier and better. You find still a reason to be glad under any circumstances. Then only you will start to feel the so-called pleasure in Dhamma. That is not a sensuous pleasure. That is not something material pleasure. You can't know the humanness. How can sympathize yourself? Such a person who has understood the power of mindfulness, that in detail, whenever someone develops the unshakable character to observe one's own unmindful, that such a person only can sympathize another person. Otherwise he is a diseased person, he is a mentally upset person. So that is how you develop the reinforcement. You develop the immunity in your life. You sympathize your mistakes. You are not going to the church and confess telling that I have done this and that. You are not going to the Buddha and say I have this and that. That's also good. But here, you yourself care for your own mistakes. That is how you comprehend the whole day. So therefore, in the Sathisampojjhanga, the Buddha says, Santangma Ajjatna Sathisampojjhanga, Attime Sathisampojjhanga Bodhi Pajanati. Whenever you become mindful, you know internally I am mindful. Whenever you want to become unmindful, verily, you know I am not mindful. That is better than be mindful and be happy, but knowing unmindfulness as unmindfulness, you can be still happy. And then the Buddha says, whenever something happens, but the next day, immediately the mind will come to the full fledge. It is not you. It is called that blinks. The moment you come to more unmindfulness, the next thing is, invariably you become mindful. And thereafter the Buddha says, Asantangva Sathisampojjhanga, Anupannangva Sathisampojjhanga, Padeti Tanchapajjhanga. That you know how the mindful sets in. Unmindful moment you know, and you are not shaken, and therefore easily the mindfulness can come, and then you come to know. This is how the unmindfulness gives rise to the mindfulness. And ultimately you will understand this way, throughout the day you can claim mindfulness. And therefore, if maybe I have to detail that to reinforce this idea, I would like to give a quotation from yet another sutta. The Buddha says in the Uddana Pali, it is in the Itiuttara Pali, Dveme Bhikkave Tathāgatassa Desana Pariyāyena Bhavati. For once, the teaching of the Buddha double-fold in the two facets. Accheto Passadāya Paramadhamma Desana, Accheto Dissava, Tattva Nibbindata Virajata Vimucchata, and Lucchita. It is, see the mistake as mistake in the first part of the teaching. Second thing is, after seeing, make remedies, not to do it. To avoid it is the second part. That in the medical science, the diagnosis and the treatment. The diagnostic part is, still you are in the healing. That you can't know, this is the germ, these are the conditions. These are things make it worst, these are things make comfortable life. You are completely diagnosed. So this diagnostic part is the most potential area in the Dhamma. So that you have to be very patient. You must be utter in the desperate situation. But still, this is how you diagnose. Once you completely diagnose only, the healing happens. But in the American Buddhism, put the healing first and never wait to diagnose yourself. You are just treating the symptoms. That is what we call business Buddhism. The Buddha is not something to say. He is the regret, disappointments, frustration, ever going to happen. So at least wait and see what are the characteristics, what are the functions of it, how it sets in, how it goes off. So you can't do it for the yesterday if you trusted you have to do it. You are very in the red-handed in the frustration, then you can study. Exactly. That is the way you can understand unmindfulness. That is negligence. So ultimately you will equally appreciate diligence together with the negligence. The vigilance and the lethargic nature. Because both of them are real, under the nose, experience, direct experience. That is how the meditation for the Vipassana level, it gives the equal value for the two extremes. And for that, the mindfulness has to come up to the Bhajanga level. That means as a atrophy life. So they are, all your mistakes will be the best teacher. Till that you try to get rid of mistakes. But when you come up to the Bhajanga level, you are wait and see where are the mistakes, what are the flaws. So therefore the Buddha says, of course once this suffering I go to get it out. It is no, I have no special thing to say. But understanding the suffering as suffering is the highest bliss in the life. Highest thrill in the life. Highest pleasure in the life. So therefore meditation is not to get rid of suffering. Meditation is to see through the suffering. So when the suffering happens, consider it as a good omen. Try to find a reason to be glad even in the midst of suffering. Physical or mental. Then for that only the mindfulness has to develop and harden and bring up to the point where to see the two extremes. And the moment you see both the extremes, pain and the pleasure, you are qualified to draw or assimilate the no pleasure, no pain. The moment you see the diligence as well as negligence, you are qualified to assemble, qualified to go and select the middle path. But our teaching is always to get rid of negligence and try to be diligent so you are completely paralyzed. But I am telling, yes, at the beginning you have to be very diligent because the whole life is negligent. Once you develop certain amount of diligence, you will come to know. Through the diligence, you can understand how the negligence happens. There you have to understand the beginning, the middle, and the end of negligence. So all your mistakes, you will be sympathized. In the Ratana Sutta, even after you become the first part winner, it is Yam kinche kammam karoti vārakam kāyena vācā uta cetasāva abhabbho tassa pariccāgāya abhabbhatā vittaka sarutta. Even after you are, once you become a winner of the first part, you may commit physical misdeeds, verbal misdeeds, and the mental misdeeds. Only character is you can't hide it. You are not going to get rid of it. You are not going to try to wipe it out. Instead, you will go to a virtuous person and say, this is what is happening. And then you will completely take it as a subject. You never regret it. You never try to hide it. You never think it is mine. It is happening. And you just share. And that is how you rectify it. It does not indicate that after winning the first part, you are completely away from physical, verbal, and physical mistake. You know how to tackle the mistake. That is how we develop the immunity, the galvanizing effect of our mind. Otherwise, we only see one one-sided. Therefore, we will never try to look into the negligent side, the flaws, physical misdeeds, verbal misdeeds, and mental misdeeds. And that is why at the early part I mentioned, if you are not sympathizing your physical, verbal as misdeed, very difficult to expect sympathy to others. Consciously when you are committing some mistakes, and still you take it as dharma. It is something happening rather than you, then you can understand why young children and why our members in the society or in the family are committing. They are happening. Only we have to do it how to rectify it, that's all. We can't say that tomorrow you should do it, that it will happen. So more and more you become enlightened to the things, from the beginning, the middle and the end, ultimately you are better off. You are riding the wave rather than succumb to the wave. So therefore in the Sathipattana, each and every Pattana, and if you are mindful, completely Buddha says, the Dhammajiva, the analytical mind is the natural outcome. You must not be a scientist. You must not be an intellectual person. If the mindfulness comes naturally, the correct way of analytical power, the inquiry mind naturally comes. That is what Dhammajiva. You analyze, you touch and see. Whatever it happens, you never try to avoid something or promote something. Dhammajiva comes. Then only you become really energetic. From morning to the evening, you will never feel drowsy because your drowsiness also a supplement. You never come to the drowsy. You are not over enthusiastic. You know that is also defined. But the energy going to come. The energy as one chakra or factor of enlightenment. And when the energy comes, you will really understand how the lethargic mind, how the lazy bones, how the slow tempo. You don't understand the slow tempo, how can you enlighten to the energy? And once that happens, the beauty, the rapture, the gladness comes. Whatever happens today, you make it a point to, you try to be glad under any circumstance. So therefore, nothing to suppress you, nothing to discourage because you are full time diligence to see what is happening. And that gladness is going to lead to your pleasure and the serenity. And serenity, I would say, the content. And nowadays, present day, medical research has come to know this serenity, the contentment is the real healer nowadays. If you are not glad, if you are not pleasurable, whatever the medicine is going to give, it won't make any lasting healing. So, passaddhi, the contentment and the serenity coming from the Dhamma, it is called Dhamma therapy. When you come up to that level, all the diseases and kind of things will be reconsidered and healing effect will come because balance. And then that is the most conducive and proximate cause for the concentration to arrive. When the concentration happens, the body and mind must be healed. They must be balanced. You can't do it artificially. When the concentration happens, the contentment leading you to the equality. That equality means even you are sleepy or energetic, you equally take it. Give the equal value. When you are fully mindful or completely unmindful, you take the equal value. Then only you can see the middle part that you are preparing your mind for the noble equal path. Having correct, starting from the correct will. So correct, you don't expect that you can go to the supermarket and buy. It is not a fixed product. So the correct view is, then and there you have to understand the extremes and then assimilate accordingly. It is a circumstantial thing. So that is why the Buddha says, I can't help you. Because it is, your involvement is there, but I can teach the method. I can tell you the path you have to walk. So therefore, with the mind, mindfulness, starting from mindfulness, come up to the Vajjanga level, or at the factor of enlightenment level, your mind is such a floating thing, floating idea of this superficial. It will never be regret. It will never be defeated. But each and everything you know, the either mentality or physicality, the subject matter for meditation. And if you think that without going through these difficulties and suffering and kind of thing, if you want to develop all the Vajjanga, that it never happens. Whatever comes along your way is your question paper. If you can't go through it, you will never be promoted. And you will be ever depressed. And your mental power and your determination power will be ever depressed, going down. So therefore, when and where, whatever the phenomena happens, you must be mindful of it, or you must try to find a reason to be glad, and then only you can see Dhammajiva is going to happen. Dhammajiva means the mental aspect going to reveal in a dramatic way. And with that knowledge, if you are going to read the teaching of the Buddha, the discourses, it is amazing to think how that 2,500 years old teaching, so lucid, so crystal clear, still in the books. Many people give many kind of interpretation that is open for any religion. And how to preserve it is not due to just be a very hard because of practicing language. They are really practicing and repeating the theory as they are put into practice. Ultimately, now it is 2,552 years old after the great demise of the Buddha. So it is a treasure. It's a kind of an endowment for us, and therefore we must not let it be dwindled off. We must pass it to the better people. Therefore we have to live up to that. We have to make it a living Dhamma, and that is the silence of your practice, your regular application to the Dhamma, and it is generally going to the second generation, third generation, whether they are Buddhist or not Buddhist, it is pragmatic thing. So therefore, to come up with this, understand the six faculties, and come up with this Vajjanga level, it appears like very difficult, unachievable task like. But I am telling you, these are not the most important things. These are outcome of your very practice. So if you give into this Kaya Anupassana, that is dwelling on the contemplation of the body, the others will be definitely revealing to you. Always what you have to do is try to be a beginner. Develop the beginner's mind and take the responsibility to maintain it, and amazingly you will be taken into this deep Dhamma, and more you understand the Dhamma, more and more you understand who the Buddha is. So Dhamma Pasati, so Maha Pasati, that is the Buddha says, he who sees the Dhamma in the crystal clear way, the living way, he sees the living Dhamma. Many feel and think that Buddha went to the demise, and of course he is no more. That even while he was living, even the person living and sleeping with him never see Buddha. The Buddha is not a spiritual person that is very understanding to understand the way that things are completely wrong. So therefore, maintain the mindfulness as much as possible. Whatever the conspicuous phenomena manifesting you, that is the joy. That is the opportunity for you to go into the deep Dhamma. So therefore, don't miss the chance. Be opportunities. Take the maximum opportunity. Just writing whether it is a good or bad. And if that is the case, you will get the maximum of the dispensation, and you are the maximum helper to the dispensation. So the final thing is to be mindful. Thank you very much for listening. That is what I thought of sharing. Questions or any statement that has asked little time. Otherwise, we have to go traditional way of conclude the days.
Was there actually anyone at the time living with the Buddha and didn't realize he was the Buddha? Was there anyone who was with him at the time and didn't realize he was the Buddha?
Majority was not. They never recognized, but one day the Kasapa was going on a winter fire. The Buddha was going on a winter fire. One person came and offered some. And later when the Kasapa came and he wanted to give to the Kasapa, he knows only the Kasapa is the greatest person. He told Buddha, hey, wait a minute, I want to take you back from you. And I want to give it to the Kasapa. So Buddha made a determination that that is his wish. May he take only the path he accepted. So he went to Kasapa came to them and she also went to Kasapa. And when the Kasapa came to them, he had to go to the living to Buddha, he went to the Kasapa. And yet another day, there are 3 months, and both are residing in the royal park. And the Shiva, the curator, is so happy with this month, and he is in complete silence and felicity. And one day, the Buddha, coming on the way, he also came. This park is a good place, but in the dusk, the gatekeeper told, don't come. Even the very senior monks are living here, you can't come at least. Our monks are taking care of you. And luckily, one when Anuruddha was there, he came to know that the curator is arguing this unknown person to don't come in. Who is that? Many people never understand, therefore, if you have any wish to see Maitreya Buddha, please ask his address card. No sign. No sign at all. So you think it's a whole glory and kind of thing, Buddha come and teach you Dhamma and all that. It's completely your nightmare.
How do we know you're not?
We don't know. You understand yourself within, and that day only you can see it outside. If you expect the Buddha come and raise you, that is all childish game. You will never appreciate that kind of thing. You have to see the Buddha within, and then everyone you see. Every Dhamma is Buddha, every wind is Buddha, every fire is Buddha, every sand is Buddha, it doesn't matter how to derive the Dhamma. This is up to you. Everything is talking about Dhamma because everything is representing its own nature. The sadness expressing its own nature. We wish to know sadness, but we also get it. The reality will kick off. So there is a real joke to ask that particular people aspiring to see the Maitreya Buddha, how to recognize? It's a completely, that is why it says in English also, the giving a gift is something, but accepting the same is. In singular, giving the gift is one thing, but accepting is more than giving. So Buddha has given. We are accepting, thinking that we can get a cheaper rate, or we can get it in the next life, or we can have that. No, it is totally expensive. It's totally profound. And now we have the complete potential. So, very good. And there also one very nice sarcastic article written by Venerable Ananda Maitreya. He was the most senior monk. He will give that 106 years. He says one day that he's writing it as episode. And the monk coming to the Siyamani Kaya in the best car. And after the meal, 11 o'clock or 11:30, they are coming back home, coming back to the temple. And on the way, he finds a very modest monk with the ball in the back and going there. He says, these kind of things, you can maintain the status of the monk. How is begging and going around the path? You see, we are not like that. We have our own. The us and give and they give the car. We are going with the car, but they are actually with it. And he goes. And then the Catholic father comes. And he also coming with the face-to-face modest one. He came to the other side and he goes. And everyone don't care. But his time is closing more towards the 12 o'clock. And he is going on the very boldly. No one gives. Everyone critical and all that. No one has a very old village. One going on the path, he going one way. Have you got the name? No. So immediately he go and serve some little food, within few minutes to eat, and then we ask, where are you come? What are you? Who are you? He says, I am the Buddha. But everyone thinks Buddha is something, Buddhism is something. When the real Buddha comes, we think he is outcast. And that's why Jesus Christ, when he go back to the church, it's full. And they are so very better. He was waiting and says to Jesus, we don't know if Jesus is. Don't go, it's full house full. We don't know. It is even for me, no room in the church. Even for the God, there is no room in the church. Church is full of with the tax collectors. It's full with the smugglers. So wherever you go to the church, you find the tax collectors and the smugglers. But the God is on the way. He is in the road. So we have to understand the Buddha, to understand the Dhamma, understand the Sangha. It's an involved thing. You can have a prayer and this is Buddha, this is Dhamma, this is Sangha. No such a prayer. So each and every moment you have to learn. At the end of the day, the moment you see Dhamma, you will understand who the Buddha is. And more and more you go there, you feel so much of feeling for how he derived this precious Dhamma, and that is simple. How we teach to be sentient beings, that is the most difficult thing to understand. How to teach, because people are always facing any sensuous question. And the says, please close your eyes. No, you need to close it. Please ask, go to silence. No one needs to go. So how do you do that? That is the great compassion. Here to pay. And now it is 2,500 years and 52 old. So how much we, our percentage, how much we dedicated to this precious thing. And that's basically we can say, no, Dhamma is finished now, that's not necessary, we will find out all this stuff and we will go for a film show. We can go for a picnic. And when you go into that, you feel so moved, you feel so, there are kind of sense. This world is never it will be better. It's why Buddha says, mind your own business. Maximize the opportunity and possible get it up. Don't try to adjust the world. Don't try to make it a better place. Even the Buddha never think about it. It's so omniscient power. He says that whoever comes, he gives the maximum. And never go and say, stand up, sit down, do this thing and do that. Never teach politics. Never give any authority to any person or other. Give the equal value for the parents and the children. Give the equal value to the teachers as well as the students. Therefore, you have to be very humble, have to be very open-minded to be a Buddhist. It is not easy. You have to disidentify yourself. You have to completely unassume. Otherwise, you can't be a Buddhist. Becoming a Buddhist is not an easy task. Of course, if you have a birth certificate, there may be a case field that you are a Buddhist. There's no challenge. But to be a Buddha, to be a Buddhist, and I think it is the most hilarious thing in life. It is the most adventurous thing in life. That is the best way you can treat yourself. To practice to practice up to that.
So, at which point do you see the rays of the Lord Buddha? Like, so if it wasn't visible when he was walking, was it when he was meditating that you could see the rays?
As far as you are mindful, you can see your rays. That's the only you can see Buddha's rays. As Buddha is nothing to do with the rays.
But the five.
That all kind of thing is for the children. That is the. That's simple. If you are believing showing the moon, if you are looking at here, no, you have to go protecting of that. The day you radiate yourself, you become radiant. That is the time you can see Dhamma, that is you can see Buddha. Unless and when you see your radiance, go and seeing the Buddha's radiance, what away, what use? No use. Go mind your own business. Be mindful. It is a very one-to-one relationship. There is no mistake. There is no magic. Very simple technique, and by doing it, you come to the momentum, and then you understand something happening. It is not linear. You can't understand, you can't comprehend it as linear, but the theory presented in the linear way is the starting point. And then you have to project yourself, you have to work out yourself. I don't know whether I am encouraging you for meditation or discouraging you for meditation. This is what I feel. This is what I feel, what I experience. So, no lullaby. Straight to the point. If possible, you eat. Otherwise, also you have to eat. No other way.
But you said maximum is 8 years if you practice.
The Buddha says in the Sathipattana, Buddha definitely tomorrow we have to go into that level. 6 years maximum. And minimum is 7 days.
But that is be mindful from the first day. Is that way?
There is not given much of commentary that is for the full enlightenment. In this very life you can become Arahant, or if there are any residues, you will be Arahant.
But Sotapatti means still lower level. You may not have to.
So that if you present in such a way, to become mindful, how many minutes you take?
In the meditation.
Whatever may be to mindful,
it's instantaneous.
What Buddha says. That is what the Buddha says. If you keep that mindfulness continuously, everything happens. But the thing is, we can't maintain the momentum. Anytime we can be mindful, that is, everyone is endowed. But the matter is that our challenge is, our personality is how to maintain. That is to say that Sampada, Uttana Sampada, Araka Sampada. The earning something is one business. But you earn is protecting. This is yet another thing, security. So in our problem is not earning. What you have to do is already protected mindfulness. How can we already earn mindfulness? How can you protect it? That's a completely going against the way. Going against the day-to-day knowledge, going against the sense knowledge. But Buddha says it is we are endowed. There is nothing lacking. There is nothing that no one can say I can't do it because this. There is no such a reason. Once you become a human, once you are living in the dispensation is up, and if you have all the senses intact, all the others are there. Only you yourself disqualified due to your wrong calculation, inferiority. That no one can do. That is up to you. There is all the rarest 7 factors we are endowed with dispensation. Buddha is there. You are a human being, your senses are intact, Dhamma is there, practice ones are there, and good friends are. So that is the most rare thing you find in the samsara, and when we compare, we have. So only things we have to give it, we have to maintain that spirit, the momentum, and that is your challenge. You understand? Very right. We will go for the event of chanting, sharing merits with all the seen and unseen beings and their relatives. So we hope chanting of the traditional steps. Vidāvadācammehi sampatam puñya sampatam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Vidāvadācammehi sampatam puñya sampatam sabbe bhūtā anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Vidāvadācammehi sampatam puñya sampatam sabbe sattā anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ākāsattā Jummatthā Devānāgā Mahittikā Puññaṇṭaṃ Anumoditvā Viram Rakඛantु Sāsanam. Ākāsattā Jummatthā Devānāgā Mahittikā Puññaṇṭaṃ Anumoditvā Viram Rakkhantु Desanam. Ākāsattā Jummatthā Devānāgā Mahittikā Puññaṇṭaṃ Anumoditvā ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතියෝ ඉදං හෝ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතියෝ ඉදං හෝ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතියෝ නා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිපාතපත්තිය ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිපාතපත්තිය ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිපාතපත්තිය साधु साधु साधु